My name is Stephanie Skye. I am a program worker for the SHE program. It's an alternative high school for at-risk Aboriginal youth. We've never had a project like this, so this is very unique. So we're very grateful for this opportunity today, and we couldn't be happier with the results.
Cooking is a big part of my family and our tradition and our heritage. I was always raised that feeding people is one of the most respectful things you can do. I always feel good when I make good food and I see people enjoying it.
My favorite recipes to cook is Indian tacos.
Today we're using bison. Typically most people make it with beef, but in our recipe I wanted to use something a little more traditional, so I used a game meat that's a little regional. The students today did phenomenal. I was extremely pleased with the amount of professionalism that they all exhibited today. And it was really interesting to see everybody kind of find their own niche. Some people preferred to do the bread, some people preferred to do the chili, and some people preferred to be behind the camera and behind the scenes and learning about that technological aspect of it.
My favorite recipe was the corn stew.
I'm here teaching the students how to lye corn first and foremost, and then how to make the corn soup, the ingredients that go into it. And so they'll understand all the work that actually goes into making a pot of corn soup. Like it takes probably about 5 hours from start to finish. From shucking the corn to getting the lye, sifting the lye, and then actually lying the corn. And we wash corn really well, and we cook it again for another hour, hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on how cooked you want it. It'll open like popcorn. Because without the lye, the corn would not cook. That eats the husk off, allows it to open up.
These skills that they're learning, they're taking back to our program. We feed our students 5 days a week, so they're using those skills. They're cooking the bread, they're making the strawberry juice, they're doing the chili. So they utilize the skills that they were learning today every single day, and hopefully at home as well.
Where I got most of my knowledge is from my grandmother. I was kind of the little guy that was always just kind of sitting on the counter watching, and that's where I learned how to make bread and how to make soup and how to make all those types of little family recipes and stuff like that. So I started with the food truck, and then people wanted me to come and cook and talk about Indigenous culture and spirituality. Best things about these types of cooking and these types of venues is to start talking about those things.
My name's Nick Bertrand. I'm an education officer with the Indigenous Education Office in the Ministry of Education. What I'm seeing here in this facility is nothing short of phenomenal. I mean, we're seeing kids who are engaged in a variety of different activities, from, as I said, the audio-visual components to great hands-on in there doing cooking, and we're talking about traditional foods here as well. So we're linking in culture with the learning as well. So it's an exciting day for me to see this type of work in action.
My first work experience was working with my mom and my aunties and my sisters in kitchens, making food for our community members. If you know how to cook, you can provide for your family, you can provide for the community. And I also wanted to talk about too with the youth the aspects of like gender and two-spirit identity when it comes to indigeneity. Because for two-spirit people who might be gender diverse, or they might identify as LGBTQ, and also Indigenous, that they play a very important role in our communities. There is still a lot of homophobia, there's still a lot of transphobia, there's still a lot of biphobia, a lot of discrimination towards queer and trans people within our Indigenous communities. There's also that traditional teaching of acceptance and awareness, of love and honesty and truthful for everybody within our communities. It doesn't matter if you're white, black, gay, straight, or trans. You're important, and you should have a role in your community. You should be a part of your community.
So we've been doing this program this is our 8th week. When the students first came here, very hesitant, very unsure, didn't really want to participate. Through these 8 weeks, we've just seen them develop these skills. You know, they want to go in there, they look forward to Thursdays, they ask what's on the menu, they ask who they're cooking with. So just that excitement alone and just wanting to be a part of something, that in itself is an amazing success for our students, because our students don't necessarily participate when they're out. So when they come here and they're doing that, that's sometimes a huge leap forward for them.
On April 27, 2017, Connor General came by the kitchen collective and shared his recipes for wild rice pilaf. We also grilled up 2 different kinds of game meat sausages, wild boar and elk.
My grandmother Bertha Skye cooked with us, I think, on week 6. I have been fortunate enough to have her wonderful cooking my entire life. She works with Indigenous youth all over. She is an elder at multiple universities, so she does this on a daily basis. She still works as an elder in the community. It was one of the proudest moments of my life when my grandmother came here and cooked with us.
The Three Sisters is corn, beans, and squash. And I add potatoes to the soup and piece of pork or meat, whatever we have. This was the main source of food for Iroquois people. And, you know, they could plant the corn in one hill, plant the beans and the squash in the same hill. And they sheltered one another. And the beans would grow up the corn, and the squash would cover the ground so it would hold the moisture. And they grow good together. And I've tried it and it works. This is the soup I entered in the World Culinary Olympics in Frankfurt, Germany in 1992. I was 62 then, and that was quite some time ago. And there's a big demand for this soup. I go all over the place to cook this soup, and the bannock. It's very good. I'm giving each one of you students a little bag of seeds and the story that goes behind them. And if you could all plant, just for experiment, the seeds that I'm giving you, that's an education itself. To me, it's very important that we teach kids to love Mother Earth and the food that she produces. And we should always give thanks to the Creator for the food and whatever she gives us.
I'm Sue. I'm the co-op teacher. I work very closely with the kids in the SHAPE program. I've really come to enjoy my time working with them. They've opened my eyes to a whole lot of really new and interesting things. I've come down to the Kitchen Collective to be part of this Cooking with the Elders program for quite a number of weeks. I think it's been an amazing experience for these students. They do cook every day, but they don't get to cook in an environment like this and a facility like this all the time. I think there's a lot of potential for a lot of these students in cooking, and I really am so thankful and grateful that this opportunity has come along for them. I've seen skills develop. I've seen a love for new foods, trying things they've never tried before. Working with people, working with strangers like yourselves who've now become friends, and that's really what this community is all about. I loved last week when the Wolfman was here, and when I walked in, every single student was occupied, they were busy, they were cooking. That kitchen was a flurry of activity. Everybody was engaged and participating, and it just made my whole day.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to fillet this and take the 2 fillets off. With the bones and the head and the trimmings, we're going to make a total of 4 recipes today. When you buy a fish in a store, there's a few things you want to look at. The first thing you want to make sure it's not fishy smelling. And the gills should be a beautiful red. Fortunately for us, they've gutted the fish, which is just taking out the innards. Right? Traditionally, they would actually gut the fish, take the guts out. And the area that I'm from is they would actually cut it along the back this way, open it up, so the ribs are still intact, and dry it that way. So here we are. Within an hour, we got everything done. So we have the pecan encrusted salmon that's baked with a little bit of lemon, and we have a little Dijon on there as a nice flavor. We have a beautiful salmon chowder with some cream in it, and then we have our salmon cake here with the corn salsa. I wanted to do salmon today because I wanted to show you that there's a lot of things that we do with our traditional food. I'm proud of what the elders shared with me. It's not mine to keep, it's mine to share. And I wanted to also show you that we didn't waste anything. We even took all of the salmon and made a stock out of it. There's still some salmon stock there. Are you guys hungry? Let's enjoy some food.
As for wrapping up today, I think we're having fun, and there's some delicious food that's being cooked, and I can't wait to eat it. It's been a great experience.